One of the strangest feelings that I had to deal with when I first got sober was waking up early on a Saturday morning sober. I was like, what do people do when they wake up early on Saturday morning? See, I was so used to waking up, nursing a nasty hangover from the night before, and that unless I had work to do, I'd be in bed until noon just trying to recover. If I did have work, I would be binging on sugary and caffeinated drinks to wake me up and facilitate my functioning. Then here I was, up at 7 a.m. in the morning, looking around like, huh? What do people do this early in the morning on a Saturday? Hi, welcome back to your channel, The Wandering Wanderer. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. Thank you for giving us your time, your very precious time, and spending it with us as we explore alcoholism, addiction, and sobriety. I'm your host, Wendy, and today I want us to talk about the benefits of sobriety. And yes, there are actual benefits to sobriety. That's why some of us choose to do this. Some are obvious and others not so obvious. So I'm going to dive into all of them because we're going to go into the different categories of the benefits. We've got physical benefits, psychological, spiritual, mental, social benefits of a sober life. Yeah, believe it or not, all of those are benefits. And so let's begin with the physical benefits. Did you know that as soon as you quit drinking alcohol, your body almost instantly begins to heal itself? The liver, the one that's usually most affected because it has to filter through your alcohol, begins to repair itself, leading to improved liver function. Now, for those of us who are sleeping during biology, your sister included here, the liver is responsible for a lot of other things, including cleaning toxins out of your blood, metabolizing proteins, carbohydrates, and fats so that your body can be able to use them. It also produces substances that helps the blood clot, among other things. So your liver is pretty important. So you do want it to be functioning well. Within a few weeks of sobriety, your skin begins to look better. Let me tell you, I battled oily skin for a huge part of my life. And when I say oily, I mean like makeup in the morning and by 11 o'clock you're touching your forehead and going like, oh my God, it is all oil. And I was convinced that I'm going to spend the rest of my life having oily skin. And while I still do have a little bit of an oily skin, when I quit alcohol, I didn't expect it, but my skin kind of regulated itself a little bit more. It began to look better, which is why your girl over here is looking nice and fly. But your skin begins to repair itself. It learns to rehydrate itself and it becomes more manageable. Like for me, adult onset acne was a partner for me, and now I almost don't have to deal with it at all. Another physical benefit is the energy. I found myself having boundless energy when I quit drinking. Even when I thought I don't have energy for that, I found that I had a lot more energy. And I was able to do things or pursue things that I loved, but I just never had it. I was like, after work, I am off to the bar, and after that, I am at home to sleep. And I didn't really have the time or the energy to pursue my passions. Now, those who know me know that I love my sleep. And truth is, when you drink, your sleep is more blackout sleep rather than regular healthy sleep. And so, while in the first few months of sobriety, and this is important to say, in the first few months of sobriety, I went through disturbed sleep patterns because my body was trying to readjust itself to regular sleeping patterns and not having alcohol in my system. Once I passed through the withdrawal phase, I was able to noticeably have improved sleep patterns. I was able to sleep better. I was able to sleep not longer in the sense of, sleeping too much, but being able to have healthy sleep, which is REM sleep, and you're able to sleep and wake up feeling refreshed and not waking up feeling like you're tired and you still want to go back to sleep, or waking up with a hangover that you need to recover from. So that was huge for me. Being able to sleep 6, 7, 8 hours a night continuously was, unheard of for me until sobriety. As you continue in the sobriety journey, the risk of alcohol-related diseases like liver disease and certain cancers significantly decrease. This is because, as we've said, we've we've explored some of the risks that come with alcoholism. A lot of it has a physical impact on your bodily function, including your kidney and your liver. And so a lot of alcohol related diseases are automatically swept off the table when you get sober. And of course, the longer you've been drinking, the more alcohol has made a home in your body. And so it might take a while for your body to completely detox and recover itself as you support it with good nutrition and good exercise and good sleeping. Your body is able to heal itself. And last but not least of the physical benefits for many people, including myself, was weight loss. As I mentioned in the last episode, I had cheeks, y'all. I had like round cheeks, and I couldn't go up and down the stairs without, wheezing and everything. And so I saw a huge difference when I quit alcohol and I was able to shed some of that excess weight. And my immunity also improved. These are all physical benefits of sobriety. Some of these, even I didn't know until I actually got sober. Your body functions more efficiently without the toxic effects of alcohol. I shared this with you last week and I'll say it again. I received my first clean bill of health at an annual physical for the first time in my adult life, 2 years into sobriety. So it's not something to knock on, y'all. It actually has a lot of significant benefits if you want to be sober. Now, let's talk about the psychological benefits. We already established in our previous episodes that alcohol can exacerbate mental health issues like anxiety and depression. Removing alcohol from that equation allows a more stable mood, reduced anxiety, and overall better mental health. Support systems like therapy and counseling are way more effective without alcohol in that picture. I want to put a caveat here as we're talking about this. The first few months of sobriety, of not having alcohol, will kick up all your bad decisions. I say this because I know how it felt my first few months of not drinking. When your mind becomes clear and you start looking back at all the decisions and choices you've made, and you start looking back at all the things you've done under the influence of alcohol, it is, unless you have support or have a place to run to, it really messes with your mental health. At least it did for me. It made me, and that's why one of the things we're told to do is make amends with people, because as an addict, there are things that we do that when you actually recover and you get sober, you really need to make amends with people and apologize to people. But I think the biggest thing of all is apologizing to and forgiving yourself. And so it does mess with your mind for the first few months, but after that, you start to find yourself again. And learning to take that responsibility for daily decisions, as well as forgiving yourself for the past ones, gives you a sort of mental clarity that you didn't have before. But that comes with time. Because now I have to look at my choices. I have to consider my choices, because when I wake up, I'll remember all of them, and I need to be okay with them. I can't blame it on the alcohol anymore, right? And so that mental clarity does come with time. It's not like the physical one. Like the physical benefits come almost immediately and they continue over time. The psychological benefits slowly come into focus after a while. It's not immediate. A number of people report feeling a renewed sense of clarity and emotional stability. You feel like you can handle stress and emotional challenges a lot better when you're sober. I can attest to this because I feel like my mind is clearer. It feels, when I think about it right now, I liken the times when I was drinking to being in a mental fog. It was a very comfortable fog, by the way. That's why a lot of people are addicted. It's a comfortable fog because you don't have to deal with everyday situations. You do, but you don't, because you're really not there. You're kind of like putting life on pause, drinking and then coming back to it. And then when you find it's the same and it hasn't changed, because it hasn't, you find yourself going back to alcohol. And you're in this constant fog that you make all your decisions through, that you see life through. And so getting out of that fog is very refreshing, but it can also be scary at the same time. as we've just dealt with psychological benefits, let's now dive into the mental benefits. We know that alcohol impairs how your brain functions. We know that it interferes with some of the brain mechanisms and what makes the brain tick, and it even changes the brain chemistry. Sobriety increases or leads to improved cognitive functions, better memory, sharper focus, and enhanced problem solving skills. Removing alcohol from your diet helps your brain recover and function better. Tasks that require higher concentration lead to higher productivity at work, at home, and at school. I realized that when I got sober, I was able to do so much more. Like in the last 4 years, when I look at my professional life, when I look at the fact that I went back to school and graduated while, having a really, really tough job, and being able to do that and still having a semblance of a life is not something is not something I would have done when I was still drinking. I don't think I would have had the bandwidth to be able to do that. Next, let's look at the spiritual benefits of sobriety. We looked at this last week when we talked about the Serenity Prayer, that is a tool that is used for a lot of sobriety programs. And sobriety brings, often for a lot of people, brings a deeper sense of connection to yourself and to a higher power, whatever that means to you. I know some people don't like to bring, God and a higher power or whatever you think about when you think about a being that is higher, bigger than what we are all in control of. But for me, faith is an anchor for me. It's played such a big role because I realize that I don't have control over everything I thought I did. And so a lot of people are able to more fully engage in practices like meditation, prayer, and mindfulness because there's a renewed sense of purpose and meaning in life. Being sober made me realize that I don't have a lot of control in this life. None of us do. But I think when you drink, at least when I drank, I felt like, I got it all figured out. But I don't. And there's a lot of things that I have little or no control over. I learned and I'm learning. This is still a continuous progress. Sometimes I have to remind myself that I'm not in control. I can be the best version of me, do the best that I can, and leave the rest to God. And in the last 5 years, God has shown up in my life since I was a kid. No matter what hard times I went through, no matter the traumas, no matter the difficulty, He's always been there for me. But in the last 5 years, I have seen God show up in my life in every area in ways I could never have imagined. But I'm also more aware of when I look around me, I see His fingerprints and His footprints and His grace around me in the lives of the people I care about and the people I love. Another important aspect of the benefits of sobriety is social benefits. Now, I know a lot of us think that socially, when we drink, we are cooler, we have more friends, we hang out with more friends. But the truth of the matter is, sobriety can improve your relationships because when you're not drinking, you're more present. Because we all know we go out, we drink, and at some point, the night becomes a blur, right? But when you're sober and you go out socially, you actually remember the conversations you have with your friends or the people that you meet. You actually remember the people that you meet. You're not like somebody walks up to you and they're like, hey, we met at the party last week. And because you're drinking, you're like, oh, yeah, did we remind me your name? You don't even remember meeting that person. And maybe you didn't even meet that person at all. And that person is just using a line to talk to you. And being more present, being more there is what sobriety gives you. And this is such an important part of being a parent, of being a sibling, or being a partner at your workplace with your colleague, because now you're there, they see you and you remember conversations, and people are like, oh, how do you remember that? Oh, thank you for remembering that. Because it matters to people that they are seen by you. And when you remember the conversations you had and the things that were shared, you improve trust and communication with the people around you and the people you love. this leads to stronger, healthier, and better relationships. You'll find you enjoy social activities genuinely and create deeper connections with others when you're sober than when you are drunk. Being able to remember things and people at social events will certainly help make you be at least one of the more connected folk. That was the word I was looking for. Now, let's talk about the financial benefits of sobriety. I'm laughing at this one because every time I've had somebody talk about or somebody tell people, there's financial benefits, at least, especially in Kenya, somebody's like, so since you quit, did you become a millionaire? Since you quit, have you built your home? Since you quit, have you bought your car? And I don't think that's the point. I think the point of the financial benefits part, and I'll share my experience, is when I stopped drinking, at least the first and the second month, I would look at my bank account in the middle of the month around the 15th and the 16th, and I'd be like, did the bank give me more money? Because I have money in my account. And usually, right about now, I am kind of, trying to survive for the rest of the month until the next paycheck comes in. And I don't think I realized how much money I actually used to spend on alcohol until I got sober. And yeah, I'm not a millionaire. Nah, far from it. But I realize now I have a little bit more disposable income than I had before. I realize now that I can use that to do other things when I had never even considered that as a notion before. The truth is, the cost of alcohol adds up quickly. Try eliminating alcohol for about 2 months and look at how your finances go up and down and see if what I'm saying holds any water. And if any of you have had the same experience or contrary experiences, comment down below and let's share our experiences. You're able to now use the little more disposable income that you have on education, hobbies, and if you're anything like me, travel. You can maybe travel a little bit more, even if it's just exploring your own country or your own locality. It gives you more control over your finances and maybe, in a little way, helps to reduce your financial stress. Lastly, sobriety also brings significant emotional benefits. Without alcohol, there is improved self esteem and emotional resilience, primarily because alcohol is a crutch. It helps you manage day to day, right? And it also gives you an excuse, it gives you an out that you can use whenever you feel like life has been lifing, which listen, it's okay, it happens to everybody. Lives, and you need somewhere to run to. But once that is taken away, you have to learn to stand on your own 2 feet, make your own decisions. And because you have to be responsible for your choices, it makes you want to do better and have a stronger sense of self and make those decisions. I can tell you, alcohol gave me a lot of self confidence. And so when I got sober, I had to figure out who I was. I'm not there yet, still trying to figure it out. But I am relearning who I am. I am relearning my values. I am relearning what makes me unique, what makes me Wendy. And it's not always easy, but I think I am stronger now that I am sober in who I am. And while I battled self-esteem issues for a while, now I'm more grounded in who I am. I know who I am and I know who I am not. I know what my boundaries are right now. And while those are things we continue to work on as we grow older, I think sobriety has helped in a big way to shape who I am and continue to grow to be. I don't think that as an alcoholic or the times when I used to drink, I would have ever gotten the courage to start this YouTube channel. I do not believe I would have. And so that growth or that ability to get to the point where you are now more responsible for yourself and making healthier choices for yourself is a big benefit of sobriety. It also leads to, this is what I have heard from a lot of people who are now sober. They now have healthier family and social dynamics and connections with people they care about, with people at work, because you're more available to them. People can now be part of your life and you can be part of their lives. It also helps you be more vulnerable to people, which means you're more authentic, which means you open up your spaces to let people in. This leads to personal growth. Life will always life. There'll be disappointments, people will betray you, and people will hurt you. But you will begin to realize that that is a reflection of them and not of you. And overall, it begins to give you a new vision of where you want to be and how you want to get there. And you learn to start looking for resources to help you get where you want to get. The journey to sobriety isn't always easy, but the rewards are amazing and far reaching. So let's just recap. Sobriety offers a lot of benefits: physical benefits, health, psychological, mental clarity, spiritual growth, better social connections, financial stability, and improved emotional health. It can transform your life in ways you never had imagined before. What other benefits do you think come with sobriety or quitting alcohol, or even if it's stopping alcohol for a little while? Have you ever stopped alcohol for a little while and asked yourself and saw benefits that you did not think of before? All right. That is where we'll wrap up our episode for today. I want to thank you for your time and I hope you learned something new today. If you enjoyed our episode and want to keep wondering and wondering with us, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so we can stay updated on future episodes. It would mean the absolute world to me. Also, if you have thoughts, questions, musings, curiosities about alcoholism, sobriety, or if you have a story that you want to share with me or you want me to share with people on your behalf, please do not hesitate to reach out. I will see you next Saturday for our last episode of the season. Woohoo! Until then, have a wonderful week. Stay strong, stay blessed, and remember, one step at a time, we will get there together.